Hey everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the Lifeboat. What's happening, people? It is the evening edition of the Lifeboat proper. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate you. Hey, Lemmy, good to have you. If you were on this morning's show, you probably heard me talking about a show that I had watched in the morning, and you know what? We got some subscribers that came over, some really cool people. It's the Tommy Stig Social Club. I saw some that we have crossover. There's a lot of great people from here that are over there. Very, very cool. It's the whole YouTube thing is fascinating. Tammy C, good to see you again. The YouTube thing is fascinating. The algorithm thing is fascinating. How all of this gets put together blows my hair back, figuratively speaking. Jesse Brown. Holy mackerel. Look at that. Homecoming. Jesse Brown, it is good to see you on the deck of the Lifeboat where you belong. Good to see you, brother. Really glad that you're here, man. I really am. Super glad that you're here. Hello, Christy Russ. Goddess Divine Balake. Good to see you, 7th. Always a pleasure. There's Barb, the SPTV tattooed warrior, who, by the way, has seen every single Lifeboat episode ever. Now, there are some other people that can claim that, but they have been here a really long time. Barb put in a ridiculous amount of time and effort to watch virtually everything that we have ever done on the boat, and that just blows me away. It really does. It blows me away. Earned that tattoo. Absolutely earned that tattoo. V, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Hey, Mischief, glad that you're here. So this morning, we got together and we did a little complaining. We got some stuff out of our system. That's not what tonight is about. If you saw the thumbnail, and I would assume you saw the thumbnail, right? It says something about, are you tired of this crap? And this here is what this all boils down to, right? It really absolutely boils down to one thing. By the way, Tommy Bird, thank you for the photos. You know, when I get photos of somebody with kids, and I get photos of somebody who is loving life and they're sober and they're with their family, I'm telling you what, people, that's like the plunger hitting the bottom of the syringe. I'm sorry, it really is. There's just no other way to put it. The amount of chemicals that my brain allows me to feast on when things like that get sent over to me, I've been blessed as hell. And that's the pay of the Lifeboat, right? That's the paycheck here, to be sure. But I got some beautiful photos of Tommy with his family, and it's just puts a lump in your throat if you're a human being. And and there's the thing with Tommy Bird that's I don't know, it's bizarre. It's like he's hardwired into to my psyche. And I swear to you, sometimes it might be two months, month and a half, 2 months will go by that I don't get some photos or I don't hear from him. And then when I do, it is always at that moment where I'm just not quite to the base level, right? I'm coming in a little low, right? Can't quite get the flaps up. And that's without fail, always when the email from Tommy Bird comes over and it's his family, and it's just so it gets the nose of the plane, to mix metaphors here, gets the nose of the plane back up into the air, so to speak. So love you, Tommy. I really do. I really, really do. Yes, Chase the Heat is here, but he's not here. He's not in the room with me. He's been banished to the land of Nod, east of Eden. I'm kidding, but he is. He's, I think, outside. It's the weather in Arizona. You know what? You take a beating here for a couple of months. The summer's rugged, right? I mean, rugged, like just absolutely will knock the life out of you if you're not drinking a gallon of water a day. It's brutal. It's the kind of heat that's hard to wrap your brain around. But the winter here is just perfect. It really is. Every day is just absolutely what it should be. Great news. Wait, I like great news. Hello, Diana B. All right, where are we at, Lemmy? Where are we at? And why did I miss your good news? Yeah, I'm still not seeing it. But see, this is the problem with being blind. Well, congratulations, Lemmy. Right? It's You're in Arizona. I'm your next door neighbor in Cal. You're in California. I get out there. I seem to get out there a lot, especially lately, because of the my relationship to the anti-Scientology, especially the second generation crew of people from the second gens from Scientology, the ex-Scientology, the ex-Pats. I kind of like to think of them as ex-Pats from the cult of Scientology. I have become pretty close with a lot of people in that group, and the cause has become something that is very near and dear to my heart for the same reasons that's the perfect title today, right? This is where every one of us, if we're being honest, everybody, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you've ever had a drug problem, every single one of us today has something you ought to be sick of. There's something in your life today, right now, that you should be going, you know what? I am tired of this crap. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of living this way. I'm tired of doing things the way that I'm doing them because my life is not where I want it to be. I'm not where I want to be. And I don't do the call to action thing very often here, and which is bizarre because it's what everybody else that does what I do does, right? There's a call to action every single time. It's that, come on, right? Today is the day that you put this stuff. I've never been that cat. I'm not trying to be that cat. I'm really not. I would like people to show up and make friends. And if you're getting high while you're making friends, that's fine, right? We have talked about it on the morning show today. We have success stories of people that came loaded for 6 months, to a year, and then heard something or met somebody, or there was something in the comments section that is just all of a sudden it clicks, and they hear something that becomes the catalyst. Well, sometimes you got to be that catalyst. Sometimes maybe you got to push yourself a little bit. So you know what? If there's something in your life that needs a little work, maybe today is the day. Okay? Maybe today is the day that you go, you know what? Screw this. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to eat myself to death, right? I'm going to get myself back into some kind of shape. Or I'm going to start eating because I'm starving myself to death, or whatever the case may be, right? If there's something right now in your life that needs work, every time we do a show, somebody says, you know what, I really need to quit smoking, but, hey, today'd be a hell of a day, right? Today'd be a hell of a day. If you're waiting for something monumental, if you're waiting for that moment that the clouds are going to open up and the sun's going to come through, and it's not going to happen. Sorry, it's cool. It happens in movies. It doesn't happen in the real world. In the real world, you shove yourself out into traffic, right? It's something that you got to do that's not going to be fun. Hello, Crazy Brumfield. Good to see you. Yeah, Jesse Brown, I know you've been here a long time. I am now a Tucson, Arizona full-time resident, so I have switched my permanent addresses from Nevada to here, and considerably happier. I really am. I have been cigarette-free for 20 years. I quit smoking the day I quit drinking. Lemmy, that's impressive as hell. That really is. Anytime somebody tells me that they quit drinking and smoking the same day, or they quit blowing cigarettes the same day or whatever, that one just, honestly, it takes my breath away. Now that I sit in this chair. Sorry, hold on one second. It really was absolutely beautiful. He sent a picture of a sunrise that would take your breath away. It was beautiful. This is a great time of year to live in Tucson. Chad's right. It is a great time of year to be in Tucson. The weather is perfect. But when somebody, Lemmy, it takes, now that I sit in this chair, every day there are people that reach out, and I get emails from people, and I get texts from people, and they've got 4 or 5 things that they need to quit. And my advice is normally to not try to break them all off on the same day. But without fail, I have people that say, no, if I'm going to do it, that's the way I want to do it. I'm going to quit everything at once. So I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to do any drugs. Right. And I always say, well, then stop cursing. Right. And I don't know if you can, anything else, breaking wind. Right. any habit you got that's bad, you may as well knock them all out, because that's a tall order. It really is. And I don't know, for some people, I guess that's what needs to happen. It would never have been a good plan for me. When I quit doing drugs, I was still smoking tobacco any chance I could get. And I think it would have been a tall order if I had tried to quit them both at the same time. So, a couple of exciting things. Hold on one second. There we go. So I got some exciting stuff going on. There's some really cool things that are going on with the boat. I'm going to be doing some this week. I'm doing three different shows that I'm being interviewed on. And I don't. I'm going to announce them. I'll probably do it. I'll do a quick video here to announce it, and I'll put it over on the Facebook group page for the Lifeboat, so that it's announced over there as well. I don't. If I could remember exactly what the times were, I would tell you now. I'm not. It's not my strong suit, especially off the top of my head. But I've got 3 interviews that are coming up this week, and I got contacted today from an individual from a company that whose name I'm not going to drop, but it would be such an impressive name to drop because it's a big production company. It's huge, and they had seen the show, one of the shows that I did with where I was being interviewed by somebody and would like me to be part of a documentary that's coming up. And I'm going to be talking to this gentleman tomorrow. So there's a lot of really, really cool things that are in the pipeline for the Lifeboat coming up. And I'm thinking to myself today, where am I at? I sat down, honestly, took a pen and a piece of paper and started doing the inventory of where I'm at in my sobriety. I think you got to kind of do a checkup on this thing every once in a while, right? And I'm at 8 years, and I've got so much crap going on in my life. I've never ever been there's never been a time in my life where I had more going on. The number of what do they say? Irons in the fire, right? The number of irons in the fire is incredible. I've never been happier, truthfully. The Lifeboat is a full-time occupation now. This is a full-time gig, and it's I love it. I really love what I do. I wanted to tell you a story. Today I was inspired like I haven't been in a very long time. I went with my brother, Johnny, the first thing this morning. He does Harvest 912. If you've not ever been over to my brother's channel, you should really check out Chase the Heat. He is the national ambassador for this really fantastic charity that goes out and puts shoes on the feet of homeless people. It's a great charity, and because of what this climate is like, people really get some feet issues in the summer. Guys and gals go without shoes on and destroy their feet. And most of us don't take care of our feet anyway. If you end up being where you don't have a home, it's going to be something that really takes a beating. And Harvest 912 just does amazing things. They give away a couple of pair of shoes a year to every person that shows up, and it's just kind of a beautiful thing. And we're looking to partner with a organization here in town that is you would normally call a homeless shelter. I can't call this place a homeless shelter. I can't bring myself to call this place a homeless shelter. I've never seen anything like it before. I'm not speechless very often. I figure you guys probably have got that figured out by now. I can usually run my jaw. This place had me and had my brother speechless. I mean, we were just standing there slack-jawed. Every single room they took us to was better looking than the previous one. It looked like a 5-star resort anywhere, right? Pick anywhere in the world. This would be a 5-star resort. And they didn't say homeless people. They said guests. But they are completely funded with not a dollar coming from anybody that did not donate. These are all donations. And because of that, they answer to nobody. They're self-funded. They've been doing this for 70 years. And their process of taking people from being without a home to where they are, they've got a way to make a living. They've got a home. They've got cash in the bank. They honestly take these people from start to finish through the entire process. And looking at this place, it gives you hope. I come on here and I say, you know what? The war on drugs is lost. I say it all the time. And I feel like that when I look at the problem of homelessness in the U.S., which is so piggybacked onto the problem of drug addiction. It's just incredible, right? They're cousins, to be sure, if not brother and sister, right? And this place has this place was just proof that if you do it right, you can do it, right? if you do it right, you can do it. And prior to going there this morning, I'll be honest with you, I didn't have a lot of hope for the situation, but to see what a place like this could do, and there's about 150 people that are moving through this at all times. And I did a show once on a radio show out in Nevada, and I came on and I talked about it on the boat. And they have this huge homeless facility that they built in Nevada, in northern Nevada, in Reno, and it was like a $5 or $10 million facility. It was a lot of money, and it's actually a tent, but it is one of those tents that you see that people actually live in, like they're football field size tents that are structurally rigid, but it's a tent. And they're worth a ton of cash. They put this thing up in town, but when you get to the door, you get breathalyzed, and you have to take the equivalent of a drug of a urinalysis. They do it with a lick strip, but it's a drug test at the door, and if you fail, you get kicked out. This is in the middle of winter. This is anything. You're not coming into the shelter. Well, that's the stupidest thing in the whole world, right? I mean, because how many people that come to that door are going to have drugs or alcohol in their system? I mean, if I were to guess half, I think that would be really, really low end. But let's just say half. That means half of everybody that needs help, you turn away. And today when I was there, I said, what happens if somebody comes here and they're on drugs? Because they had a drug sniffing dog at the door. They breathalyze people. When you come in, you have to let them go through your bag. And he said, by the time people get here, they want to be here. Right? That's the key to this. The reason that it works is because these people want to be here. But if somebody shows up and says, I need help, and they're liquored up, I said, you turn them away? He said, we take them to our other facility. The other facility gets them sober enough to bring them back to this facility. And I'm telling you, people, to not cry walking through this building. When we walked into the very first part, it is the lobby of a 5-star hotel. I mean, that's really where you're at. So it's a very tall ceiling, like an atrium kind of a setup. And it's got incredible trees and things like landscaping kind of stuff inside. Just beautiful. And 2 gorgeous pool tables, and you hear the crack of the balls. Perfect timing. Right as we walked in, he said, well, this is where people first check in as guests when they first get here. And you hear the balls crack, and they turn around. There are sets of people playing pool on these beautiful regulation long massive tables. It was just everything there. The weight room. Johnny says jokingly, there's no place, you guys don't have a place for these people to come and get their hair cut. He goes, oh no, actually this room down here is where we have been doing this, but we're going to be building something on a more permanent basis. It was absolutely ridiculous. Hold on one second. Every once in a while, people. Congratulations, my brother. You know who you are. Every once in a while, you know what? Here's the thing. The reason, and I know this is rude, right? As a content creator, that's the rudest thing in the whole world. But as somebody that I am in people's fives, there are individuals on the Lifeboat who, if they're in trouble, then this show would have to, we'd have to shut this down. And it's happened. I think it's probably up to about a half a dozen times where I got a phone call that just meant that this thing had to get shut down. It's but so I'm not being rude. I'm really not. Yeah, it's frightening, isn't it, Lemmy? Lemmy says, Flame Skid Row is like a third world country. California doesn't do anything about it. He donates time and food down there. You know what? That's a beautiful thing. And, if you can donate food, that's always a beautiful thing. If you can donate time, it is what is always needed more than anything else. And I think it is one of the most rewarding things. And that's not an opinion, by the way. That is a fact, right? It is rewarding to serve others. To give of your time and of yourself to other people makes your brain dump crap loads of drugs into your system, right? You call it anything you want, right? Heroin makes us turn on the mu receptor, right? Well, servitude turns on a whole bunch of receptors in the brain. They all start, it's like a cocktail. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, right? A little oxytocin. Just kick it all on and mix all this together, and you just get this overwhelming feeling of wow, right? Like the pictures from Tommy Bird. These things dramatically changed my life. It has become my drug of choice. And you know what? It is a way better drug of choice than the one that I used to use. Heroin was pretty ugly. This one's fantastic. This one is fantastic. Uh, you know what? It's there. It's such a key thing to your sobriety. Let me says it also helps with your sobriety too. And boy, you talk about nailing that. And it's a stone cold fact, right? I have always said I'm not a 12-step guy. It's not how I got sober, right? This 12-step program was not my approach. I do not badmouth the 12-step program. If it works for you, keep doing what you're doing, right? Whatever gets you to the finish line. And there's a million ways to get there. It doesn't matter. But the 12th step to me has always been, every time I read it, I think to myself, they had this together. Like this was a great concept. I think that the 12-step programs got watered down by courts, putting people in there that didn't want to be there. That's a tragedy. It really is, because when it came out, it was such a force, right? The medical community had given up on people who were addicted to anything. That's a beautiful comment, Jesse. It's a beautiful comment. He says, you are beautiful people, and your experience through the struggles you went through can pull someone out of that emptiness when you think everything is falling apart. So happy that this boat exists. Well, we're really happy that you're here. And I'll be really honest with you. You have a lot to do with why this boat is here. There were people back in the old days where there were 6 or 7 people on a live feed, and that was it. But they never missed one. And I kept doing it because they were there. And Jesse Brown was one of those people that was always there. The very early days of the boat. The watered down version of the 12-step programs, it sadly really destroyed it. The last time I went to a 12-step meeting, I kid you not, by looking around, and I am a dyed-in-the-wool heroin addict. I was a guy that did it for a long time, and it was just sadly, it was so much a part of my life for so long that, like, if I promise you, if you put me in a room of 9 people and there's somebody in that room on dope, I'm going to know in 10 seconds. And most of you are the same way. Most people who have been addicted to drugs can spot anybody on their drug of choice like that, right? So I sat in this Narcotics Anonymous meeting and I looked around, and that room was twisted. I mean, honestly, if I had to put a number to it, I would have said 30 to 40% of the room was nodding, not exhibiting symptoms. And I had to look for, dilated pupils. I'm talking about entire rows of guys going like this, and just nodding out. And I'm looking at the guy next to me, who was very obviously a part of this, had a shirt on that had the logo of the facility, right? The local facility I was in. And I'm sitting there looking at it going, good Lord, man, but that was why when I got out of prison this last time and they said to me, you're going to go to 90 meetings in 90 days. I said, I'm not doing it. I'm not going into a room full of people who are high on dope. I'm not going into that room. Do what you do. Send me back. Like, that was my attitude, because I would have rather gone back to prison and finished up a year and a half in there versus doing it on the street and running the risk of doing dope again. I wasn't going to go to a place every single day where people were getting high. I had just gotten to the street. It made no sense. I do have a question. What are your thoughts of people who are addicted to opiates who use marijuana to get off pills? I have always been of the firm belief. Andrew, I'm sorry, hold 1 second. I managed to get a room within suites, sharing a kitchen and a living area, but I have found somewhere. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Well done, my brother. Way to keep your head in the game, right? If you were here last night, people, you know what we're talking about. Well done, Andrew. Good for you, brother. Good stuff. Okay, Lemmy, I have always been of the firm belief that if you're trading OxyContin 80s for weed, you're trading one drug for another, but it's a really good trade, right? That's a great trade. Is it better if you could just not do anything? You bet. That's the best case scenario for everybody, right? The best case scenario is that you're drug free. But if somebody is using marijuana to not do crack cocaine, I'm not mad at them. I'm not. I don't think there is a tremendous amount of danger in cannabis for the vast majority of people who use it, right? I abuse anything that I do. Sadly, that's the truth. I don't have the ability to regulate drug use of any kind, because I will use whatever amount necessary to get the same effect that I was getting from my drug of choice, right? And that may end up meaning that I would be smoking it from the time I got up to the time I went to bed. But that's what I would do. Because if I could knock the edges off, if I could make it so that I didn't have to work at being comfortable in my own skin, I'm going to take the path of least resistance, as is every other addict on the planet. That's what we do. We take the path of least resistance. It's our defining characteristic, right? We're not bucking the system. I promise you we're not. I wish we were, but we're not. We take the path of least resistance and we're going to go that way. So yeah. Snotface, good to see you, hon. Glad you're here. Charlie Murphy, glad that you're here. Love to you, Snotface. Just love saying Snotface. I'm never, ever going to get tired of that. You know what? Let this be a lesson to you. Let this be a lesson to you. Andrew says, thanks, Captain and crew. So happy something has finally gone in my favor, as nothing seems to be going my way lately. Let that be a lesson, right? And that we're going to stick with the front half of that sentence, right? That's what we're going to put out into the world, and we're going to expect more of it, right? Not less of it. It's, I promise you, people, manifesting, whatever you want to call it. I spent so long in a rut telling myself that it didn't matter. I was going to end up effing it up in the long run, right? Screw my life. I'm going to end up screwing this up. This is who I am. I'm a loser. I'm a drug addict. And I just continued to tell myself that over and over and over again until it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then I met Q, who is the, I say all the time, there are no gurus, and there aren't, but he was as close to one as I've ever met, right? This was a guy that, and some of the stuff that he used to say were the dumbest ideas in the entire world. But you know the difference between me and 95% of the people that are going to come across me on this boat is that I was so damn desperate. I was going to do everything he told me to do, even if it sounded stupid. He had a track record, right? His track record was people that worked with him got sober. I had a track record, 46 years of getting wasted and nothing I tried working. So I was willing to do whatever he told me to do. And I've said this before, but if he had said to me, you need to cut the tip of your pinky finger off and you need to mail it to Philadelphia, right? The lifers, old men on the yard would say to me, this guy gets people clean. They leave, they never come back. If the guy works with you, he will help you get sober, right? I was willing to do just about anything at that point to try to get sober, right? So I was willing to do the stuff, even if it sounded stupid. So when he said something like, are you right or left-handed? Well, I'm right-handed. Okay. Well, when you get up tomorrow morning, keep in mind, I live in a walk-in closet, right? That has a metal bunk bed, a metal toilet and sink combination, right? And it's a walk-in closet. So it's not very big. It is a very, very small, it's a very small place to live. But the first thing you do when you get up in the morning is you brush your teeth, right? You start your day. He said to me, when you get up tomorrow morning and you brush your teeth, do it with your left hand. Well, it seems like a really stupid thing to do, right? Number one, I'm not going to be good at it. And the toothbrushes in prison aren't great. I'm going to end up jamming the thing into my gums. Like I knew this wasn't going to work well. I said, what is the purpose of this? And he said, because it is going to offset your brain in a way that I promise you nothing else has in a really long time. And you know what, people? It will. I promise you it will. Why? Because for 46 years, you do this one every single time, right? The first time you start to do it the other way, your brain gets a little bit off kilter. And he said, and when your brain gets a little bit off kilter, that's when you start doing the daily affirmations that I found so embarrassing and so ridiculous. And you know what? I still do them. I do. Not every day. But if I start getting off track, I promise you I do. Thank you, ZW. Thank you so much. You are appreciated, hon. You really are. Much love. Another Arizonian. But we got a lot of people here from Arizona. Tammy C., you have a great night. All right? Please be safe. The old toilet sink water fountain combo. That is exactly right. It also has a water fountain built in there. You just have to put your thumb in the right place, and all of a sudden it's also it's just disgusting. It really is. It's awful. You know what? If you're in panic mode, I need all of you to take a very deep breath, right? There will be no panic. There will be no panic. Christy Caldwell, you come up with something good so much more often than every once in a while. Knock that off. Yeah, have a great night, Tammy. I wish I could turn the camera right now. I can't, but my cat is in the cutest position in the whole world. She's not going to be very happy in 30 minutes when I got to pick up the basket because she's not in a great position to have to move the basket, but she's comfy right now. All right, well, we need to need to know what's going on here, Zelda. What's weirding you out? Let's find Zelda here. Yeah, weed. You got to be talking about weed. I can't. The thing with me is just like I said, I can't play the game. If I start to go down that road, I'm going to end up using alcohol. Is a pain in the ass, to be sure, John. It really is, and it's all over the place, right? It's legal. It's advertised. It's on every single street corner. It is a very difficult substance for people to get off of because of how accepted it is in social circles on this planet. Nobody goes to a Thanksgiving football day party and, has people say, well, I've got cocaine and heroin in the kitchen out for everybody. I mean, you may go to those kind of parties still. I certainly don't. And I'm never going to show up at a party for the rest of my life where the host busts out some heroin. But I'm probably never going to go to a party for the rest of my life where the host doesn't offer me a drink. And that's a difficult thing. It really is. You know what, though? This is where you have an opportunity to take your life back over. And it's a golden opportunity. And it's one that everybody on the planet screws up. I promise you. See, if somebody says to me, I want you to come over. We're doing something on the weekend. I'm going to have some dope. There's going to be some stuff over there. Right then, right there. That's my boundary. I got an opportunity to set the ball, right? This is where it's going to be, right? Listen to Tommy. Golden opportunity. And every time I put the line in the sand, if I say to somebody, you know what? Yeah, I won't be coming over, right? Drugs are not a part of my life at all. And I'm not bummed out, that it's yours. Do what you do. Seriously. But I am virulently anti-drug because I was addicted for a really long time. Spent about 3 decades addicted to heroin. I'll be honest with you. I want to get that out. It used to be the most uncomfortable thing in the entire world for me to say out loud. Now I am leading with it, I promise you, for 2 reasons. Number one, I'm not putting myself into a position where I can screw up. No, my life's way too important. Way too important. My sobriety is more important than any of that. Right? So everybody is going to hear it, whether they want to hear it or not. That's number one. And number two, if you knew how many times I've told somebody that story and somebody has said back to me, I'm addicted to drugs, right? Or I'm an alcoholic. How did you get clean? At this point, I swear to you people, I feel like it's a freaking obligation. I feel like it's an obligation. And that 12th step will start to put so much meaning into your life. When I say it's my drug of choice, this isn't a punchline. I'm not being funny. This is how I get high. This is how I catch a buzz. My brother eats really hot peppers. I have people say to me, you know what? The chat on your channel has saved my life. That's a buzz. I promise you it is. The people in your channel have completely changed, who and what I was. That's huge. For anyone struggling with pain, anybody that is struggling for pain, if cannabis is helping with your pain, man, I don't care what's helping with your pain. Truthfully, I don't care if it's opioids. As long as it's something prescribed by a doctor, if you're fighting pain, you're fighting pain, right? This is not an anti-drug channel. I hope I don't ever come across that way. There are drugs that are so damn essential for what they're needed for. If I break my thigh tomorrow, I'm going to need some heavy pain medication. And it's going to suck because I'm going to get addicted to it. I get addicted to it by walking by a pharmacy. I sure as hell, if I have a serious injury and they have to put me on an opioid, I'm going to get addicted to it. But what are you going to do? Walk around with a broken thigh and tough it out and grit your teeth? I'll be honest with you. I'd like to think myself a stoic individual. I think I do all right with pain. I'm not doing all right with a broken femur. Neither is anybody else on planet Earth, right? You have to deal with what you have to deal with. And if cannabis helps for that, the girl that was the woman, people could really get offended when I say girl, and I'm sorry, it is a Northeast thing. Guys and girls, we just I apologize. I know it offends people, and I don't mean it to, but I should be saying women. But the woman that used to be the other co-host, used to sit in the captain's chair, aka Heather Joy, was able to get massive relief for fibromyalgia using cannabis. Massive relief, huge and it was and best case scenario. If that can bring you pain relief, I think you're better off taking cannabis than you are taking anything manufactured in a lab. I think that especially currently, the batch of what we've done with pain medication, the opioids have gotten so strong, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, a femur break is the worst. See this? This is Chad. Chad Matthews says, "It is my opinion that a chili pepper is a better alternative than weed." And you know what? My brother is of the same belief, and he's done a pile of both. But Johnny believes this for pain relief, that there's nothing that has worked better for him other than capsaicin. And look, by that I mean other than opioids, which worked great on pain, but they've got a list of side effects that basically go from here to Boston, right? Nothing good about it at all. Nothing good. So people, volume. Yeah, volume. That is. And by the way, Chad, thank you so much for bringing us down to, boy, the palace that again, it's just so hard to call it a homeless shelter. But Chad is the liaison that brought my brother and I down there. We had a great time. It was just such an amazing facility, and it was one of those places that's humbling to be in, because I mean, you're thinking to yourself, you know what? Everybody tries to help, right? In some way or another. Like everybody I know, right? That's the kind of circles I'm running in these days. Everybody I know is trying to do something to make the earth a better place. These guys are hitting it out of the park, right? What they're doing is just absolutely ridiculous. Thank you, Cindy Whitmer. Appreciate you. Cemetery. Good to see you. Oh, no, it was an honor, man. No, Zelda, here's what happens with capsaicin. This is fascinating. See, Jesse Brown says capsaicin is the only thing I found that takes care of tooth pain. Tincture. Yeah, absolutely. Tincture will knock out capsaicin in general. Here's what happens, right? When you get to a certain level of heat, now I'm not talking about a jalapeno, right? But when you get to a certain level of heat, your brain, your body goes into panic and goes, oh my God, right? What kind of pain is this? This doesn't happen very often. What's going on? And it deals with it the way it deals with pain, right? It gives a buttload of endorphins. It kicks out a bunch of endorphins so that you can calm down enough to handle whatever the situation is. Because again, your brain is kind of going into panic mode. Most people have never felt that kind of pain in their mouth, right? It's a very unique thing. And the first time you do it, it's there's anybody, Flaming Jackson can back me up. There's a lot of chili heads in here right now that can back me up on this thing. But the first time that you burn your mouth so hot that you go, oh, I had no idea that anything could get this hot. You know, growing up, you kind of think of hot and you think Tabasco, right? And then you come to realize that on a scale of 1 to 10, Tabasco doesn't register. Like it honestly doesn't even move the needle. So there you go. A ghost pepper. That's a hot pepper. And my favorite as far as taste goes. Ghost peppers are hot. You know that. But like today, I over on Chase the Heat, I was able to get my brother to eat like 10 or 11 super hots. And you can go over there and watch it. You can watch the moment that he goes from pain to everything is fantastic, because he just gets flooded with endorphins. And when we stop filming, the endorphins are not gone, right? That pain relief will last all day for him. And in 5,000 videos, in 6 or 7 years since he started Chase the Heat, there's never been a day that he hasn't had capsaicin. He has it every single day of his life. I mean, he's Johnny Scoville, but it's definitely a huge, huge part of his self-care and of his sobriety. Side question for Sir Johnny. Going to make some tincture. Unfortunately, it's alcohol-based one. I've evaporated the alcohol. I've evaporated the alcohol with the lid off for a few days. Does that make it alcohol free? No, it does not. Now, here's the deal on this one. There are people that really come down on both sides of this because tincture is made with alcohol. I promise you that alcohol is number one, not going to give you a buzz, right? Because if you can drink enough tincture to get a buzz, call me, brother, because you and I forget about it. Right? I don't know anybody that's drank more tincture than I have in one sitting, and you're not talking about enough that could possibly affect you that way. More importantly, you're going to do a Robbie dropper. You're not going to taste alcohol. You're not going to taste much. I mean, Johnny can probably pick out certain things, but when you get up to the really hot tinctures, you're not tasting anything. I don't see that as a threat. It certainly has never messed with Johnny at all, right? He does alcohol tinctures all the time. You're not going to taste the alcohol in it, bro. All it does is extract all that tincture out. It's still got alcohol in it, a ton of it, but that alcohol isn't going to have a taste. Yeah, see, there's the Johnny Scoville approved answer. So today, people, like I said, I don't do call to actions. I don't do call to action videos where I chastise people and tell them they got to quit this and they got to quit that. I don't. Excuse me. You're going to be on a show tomorrow talking about Adelson and the Latin Kings. Juliana Rodriguez. Do you know more about me than I do? I will be talking about the Adelson case tomorrow and about the Latin Kings. That is correct, Juliana. Thank you. It's a fascinating case, by the way. It's funny, too, because I've been following that case since it started. So when they reached out to me and said, do you happen to know anything about the Adelson case? I said, I do. It's a case I have followed. But I don't know how you know that. I guess they must have already put it up. But no, I'm definitely doing that. I will be talking about that case in a panel tomorrow. How you know that, I don't know, but that's awesome. See, you guys you're better at this than I am. I can see it now. Cause of death: hot peppers. You know what? The the peppers are actually pretty safe. You'd be really, really surprised. Capsaicin will make you feel like you're gonna punch your ticket, but it's not going to. Cosmic Christie says, how do people feel about non-alcoholic drinks? Here's my thing. I won't lie to you at all. I love the taste of heroin. I do. I love it. When you gas it, you put it on tin foil or you use glass or whatever, but you gas it into a vapor that you can breathe in. It's not technically a smoke, but it's like that. But when it gases up and you get in a vapor and you breathe it in, to me, that tasted better than anything on earth. I'm not lying to you. To me, that was the greatest taste on earth. If they made something that I could smoke that tasted like that, but that wouldn't get me high, I would be tempted to do that for the taste. But I know it would be the dumbest thing on planet Earth. I guarantee it would. And I'm not an alcoholic, right? That's not my drug of choice. But I can't imagine how much that's poking the bear, right? That's like you got a bear in a cage. I don't think you want to poke him with a stick. But that's my personal opinion. I know people that can drink a non-alcoholic drink and it's not a problem for them. And I know a few that say they enjoy it. And now there are non-alcoholic drinks that have they make fake hard booze now. I couldn't find a stronger enough alcohol, so I went with Hennessy. I hope that's strong enough to do the extraction. I'm not the guy to answer that. I know normally they use diesel, right? They use 191. What do they call it? Everclear or diesel. The grain alcohol is normally what people use, but I would be willing to bet that you can do it with that. I don't know the answer for sure, though. I have a bottle of Fat Cat Peach Maple Bourbon Soriano. I'm going to chug it a little later. All right, film that. See, Lemmy weighs in, and boy, it's moving so fast. I can't find. There we go. Lemmy weighs in and says, that would be a hell no for me. Non-alcoholic beer is just a trap to get you to drink. I am of the firm belief that it is not a great idea. I don't make decisions for anybody, but I don't think it's a great idea. Good night. Have a fantastic night and sleep well, please. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, Miss V's been making strawberry lemonade, one of my all-time favorite things. I drink a lot of lemonade. Surviving the Survivor channel is what I will be on tomorrow. I will be on Friday. I'm going to be doing Esoteric Atlanta with Bryce. It's I got a full week. I have a full week. Miss Dragon, what nights are your lives? And can you put the links up there so that those who have not hit subscribe to your channel can do so? That would be really awesome. Thank you, Quiet Girl. Quiet Girl is going to be here tonight. I'm sorry, Thursday night. Thursday night? I think it's Thursday night. Let me check because I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. But we are having Quiet Girl back on the boat to both show off her, Thursday, to show off her California grill and to bring us up to speed on the rest of the story. Thank you, Miss Dragon. Everybody see that? Excellent. So since we're here and we're all kind of waiting on it, how do they fit? Quiet Girl. How do they fit? Apple butter. I love apple butter. Oh man. I just had a conversation about this with family members about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or so. As a kid, I was so addicted to apple butter. It was crazy. My mom used to make it and I mean, addicted to it. I had an apple thing as a kid that was crazy because we lived in the sticks, right? But we had a little apple orchard on our property. And so I just was like a little, barefoot little Vermonter kid that ran around and picked apples off trees and ate them and did it every summer. Like it was out of control. I ate a lot of apples. No, the California grill, the teeth. No, they had to be remade. Oh, I'm so sorry, Quiet Girl. I'm so sorry. You know what though, girl? They got to be perfect. You know what I mean? They got to be perfect. It's your grill. It's your grill. If it doesn't fit right, you'd be miserable. You did the right thing. And I know you had to be tempted to try to make it work. I'm so glad that you didn't. Haven't heard about apple butter for years. Now I have to find some. See, Zelda, I'm like that for real. I see things. I'm probably the perfect person to advertise to, sadly. You know what I mean? Honestly, I'm probably that guy because I see things and you can definitely affect what I do in terms of purchasing and things. Sadly, I'm ripe for a good commercial. Jesse, make no mistake. You're still the donut king around here, bro. You'll always be the donut king around here. They were beautiful, though. Really bright white. Did they give you an idea of how long before you get them back, girl? Hopefully it's soon. Joel Lawson. Caught alive again. Finally. Can I get some prayers? Good thoughts. I recently found out I have 5 bulging discs in my neck. And when they did the MRI, they found, a 22 millimeter mass on my lung. Yeah, you need thoughts and prayers, brother. You need thoughts and prayers, brother. Here's something I will say, because sadly I've had to become well-versed on this of late. But I had a friend friend of the Lifeboat who also had a mass on his lung, which did turn out to be cancerous. But the doctor told him, he said, if you had gotten this 25, 30 years ago, this would have been it. There's no way you beat this. And now with transplants and everything else, he did not get a transplant. However, they just removed one lung. He's happy, healthy, living, skiing, doing all the things that he did. But New Hampshire, the other side of the square, right? I was a Vermonster, so I was on the other side of the Connecticut River. I played football in the Connecticut River Valley. That was my stomping grounds growing up. So I know that neck of the nape of the neck. Anybody? Movie references? Somebody will get it. Baked apples. You know what? Anything apple related. I swear to you, anything apple related. But apple butter I'm big on. I remember that, Jesse Brown. I remember you falling 3 or 4 feet off of a ladder. All bad. You got stomped on by a goat, V? I'm sorry. It just sounds really funny. Hey, Shatsy, good to see you. Yeah, donuts. I here's the thing. That's one of those foods that I can go nuts on. Did you say Leisure's not feeling good? Everybody, if we could get some thoughts and prayers for Leisure Beast, please. Um, that's super super important. Absolutely, Joel. Come on, man. Absolutely. We, you know what? The lifeboat's a really cool place to be, and it's because everybody here is so kind to everybody else here. It's. I feel like this is to YouTube audiences what the place I went to today is to homeless shelters. Um, they just. I think that this is really unique. I think that what we have here is pretty special stuff, and you guys did it. Somebody was asking me today on another channel. What's with the name the Lifeboat? I said I didn't name it. I mean, this really has been. This is really from day one. This has been you guys' boat. Shatsy, you're newly diabetic, and I hate it. Um, like I keep, they tell you what you can't eat. I'm like doing just tell us what we can eat. Yeah, that actually makes a lot more sense, Shatsy. And you know what, Shatsy, I don't know if you're on the Facebook group page for the Lifeboat. If you are, just go put a post up that says exactly that. Hey, I'm diabetic. I'm looking for some diabetic recipes or whatever. There's, I don't remember, 400 and somewhere between 400 and 500 people or something on there now. There are going to be some diabetics, and that's probably a great place where you can fire that back and forth. That's something I would absolutely recommend. And don't tell me you hate Facebook. Everybody hates Facebook, right? Mark Zuckerberg hates Facebook. Nobody likes Facebook. But this isn't Facebook. It just happens to be on their platform. It's the Lifeboat. It's the Lifeboat. I do too. Quiet Girl says, I love this boat. And you know what? That's what it is over there, man. It's just the boat. It really is. It's not YouTube. It's not people showing you pictures of their fake perfect life. It's people over there saying, hey, I need a little prayer, or I need some thought. Boltneck says, I put ketchup on my ketchup. That's my brother. He puts hot sauce on his hot sauce. He absolutely does. In fact, Johnny Scoville is a man looking for something to put hot sauce on. Right. If he has his druthers, he would just put hot sauces on pods. I think if pod season could last all year, he probably wouldn't do a whole lot of hot sauce ever. I think his real love is the fresh pods, and I get that. I mean, that makes sense to me. Although, if you've never tried that 13 million Scoville unit tincture that was made specifically for burning me and my brother by that evil Tom Broom. I'm kidding. Tom actually comes over here from time to time. So, Tom, if you hear this, I'm not serious about you being evil. Just cruel. No, I know that you do what you do with the best of intentions. It's just to give Johnny an opportunity to burn himself silly, and then it's Johnny's fault. I blame him. Dun, 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 dun. Snotface says, back from animal drama, I wanted to bring up something earlier I had about a cyclic vomiting syndrome earlier today. It's one of those things that are silent but really mess with your life. You know what, Snotface? I would love to have you on to talk about this. We're so short on time right now. This is a subject that actually I would really love to talk about on the boat. Um, if you're willing to come on and talk about that, Snotface, I would love to talk to you about it. Send me an email and think about it. No pressure. Joel Lawson says, Shatsy, I'm diabetic too. Keto is your friend. Carbs affect your blood sugar more than sugar does in foods. See this? What did I tell you? Guarantee there are going to be people here that know exactly what to do because that's what we're doing here, people. We're building a community of individuals who can count on one another. There you go. Ask a question, get an answer. The Lifeboat. ZW, you are cut off. God bless you. I love you. You're fantastic. You really are. Thank you for the support. You are now officially cut off. You have reached your daily and, oddly enough, your weekly limit. But thank you. I appreciate you so much. Becky, I haven't caught your live lately, and I apologize. Well, you don't need to do that. Hope you're doing well. I have been through some rough times lately, mentally and physically. Hugs to you, Tommy. Thank you, Becky. Here, people, pay attention, please. Pay attention, please. Becky and everybody else, if we start to go through some hard times, don't pull away. You know, you don't need less contact when you're having bad times. You need more contact when you're having bad times. It's what gets you out of bad times. So please, if you're hurting, come here and talk about it. Come here and tell people. Go over to the Facebook group, meet some people, start to build a little support group of individuals whose voices you can hear. It's fantastic to come and get into the live chat and start to meet people. It's really something else when you can pick up a phone and talk to these people or meet them on a Sunday and have an opportunity to hang out with them like I did with Barb. You know, it's about connection, right? It's the opposite of addiction. I promise you it is. And it's the opposite of so many other maladies that mess with us as human beings. Bizzle may be the smartest thing Bizzle has ever said. Everything is Johnny's fault anyway. Couldn't agree more. And by that, I mean I could not agree anymore. That is factual. You nailed that. I mean, it is funny, Biz, but it's also a stone cold fact. Ah, Kim, you look great in green. Welcome, Ensign. Or as my friend would say, yes. It's never a bad idea. You are interested in telling your story of chronic pain and how it fed addiction to many kinds. Okay, you know what? Send me an email, please. Please do. Send me an email and we'll talk about that. I could never be happier than when I'm on here telling somebody else's story instead of mine. I really am. What do you know about kratom? I've done, or kratom. Pinky in the air, kratom. I know that it works on the mu receptor in the brain, which is the same receptor that opiates of all kinds work on. It's turning on the same faucet that heroin turns on. It's turning on the same faucet that OxyContin turns on, that fentanyl turns on. Does it turn it on to the same degree? No, it does not. Does it turn it on in the exact same way? No, it does not. But I have watched people destroy their lives with it. Plain and simple. Have I seen people use it to get off dope? I have. But there's something really different between using weed to get off of an opiate versus using an opiate to get off an opiate. Now you can say kratom is not an opiate. Okay, no, it's not. But it hits the mu receptor, right? And that's the same receptor that heroin hits, that fentanyl hits, that nitazenes hit. So to me, kratom is a drug. It always will be. Is it a better option than heroin? Probably for a lot of people. I would say that, of course it is. But it's not much of a come up. Now your dope dealer is a gas station or a head shop, but you still got a dope dealer. And I've worked with guys on the Lifeboat who are spending $125 a day on it. You know, you're spending $125 a day, you may as well be doing dope. Kratom has to be addictive. Anything that works on the mu receptor is going to be just the exact same thing. They're going to be addicting. Joel Lawson says kratom is like using Coke to quit crack. And you know what? That's a pretty damn good way to put it. Oh, you're welcome. I do, and I'll do a show on it again soon because it's one of those shows that that I need to do often because there are just so many gas station heroines out now. Zaza Red is another popular name brand right now for. It's not kratom; it's a totally different thing, but does the same deal. You're right. So it's so destructive, like that Vanilla Ice move. Cool as ice. It's so bad, it's actually kind of funny. If you can work a Vanilla Ice reference into my show at any time, please feel free to do so. I'm a fan. I love Vanilla Ice. I always will. And he actually came after my time, but I dig him. I really do. That song, Ice Ice Baby, has sold a 500 million records. Sandy Bowers. Sandy Bowers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. She says, love you. Tommy, finding your channel and your community has given me so much hope. I'm addicted to kratom. Used it to get off Vicodin. It's so hard to get off. Guess what? You're going to get off of it. And you're going to get in under the send me an email to sober@myyahoo.com. This is my specialty. Send me an email, please, to sober@myyahoo.com, Sandy. And when you do, send your phone number and everything else with it, and we can talk about this. I am good at helping people get off kratom. I really am. I've had a decent amount of success with this. So yeah, a 1, please. But send me that email and send me some contact info, okay? Because if you're trying to get off kratom, I'm your guy. I've got a lot of experience with helping people get off of that stuff. Thank God, right? All righty, people. You know what this means, don't you? It means it's the top of the hour. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and this right here is a cat in a basket. Yeah, a little spoiled, rotten animal. She really is spoiled, too. I'll tell you what. All righty, peeps. We will see you in the morning. Say, I don't know, 5 a.m. work for you? I will see you there. I did, snot-faced. I made phone calls. I have been looking at 3 different places that sell different products and trying to find out the difference between them. Yes, I'm researching it right now, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I absolutely am, and I'm going to keep you in the loop on that, all of you. I'm Captain Tommy. We'll see you at 5 a.m. Bye-bye.